is Meredith Blount, and I'm about to graduate law school next Friday. So very excited about that. I grew up in a small town in Central Florida, went to the University of Miami for undergrad, and then came straight through to law school because I've known since I was about 12 that I wanted to be a lawyer. So I came here and I guess sort of realized that a number of the reasons my lawyer friends had told me not to go to law school were kind of true, and decided that rather than lawyers in the community diverting future law students from going to law school, you could actually just change the process and make it a little better for future law students. And so that's, I guess, what I've tried to do while I've been here and what will hopefully be done after I graduate next week. I've done that through an organization that I started called Vanderbilt Law Student Health and Wellness Association, or VSHWA for short. Thought it had kind of a meditative sound to it. And basically the program strives to identify sources of stress in law school and reduce them, while also giving students tools to empower them to deal with stress that can't necessarily be negated or reduced, and then hopefully they'll be able to use those tools once they reach the legal profession and be able to cope with those in a healthier way. Before the program got started, I was on the Vanderbilt Bar Association's board as social chair, and that kind of gave me a lot of insight into the substance abuse problem in the legal community, which I felt a little hypocritical about because I was the social chair and therefore facilitating all of these debaucherous parties at which students were having lots and lots of fun and probably imbibing too much. And I felt that if I saw the substance abuse problem in the legal community, the only way that I could really be a good social chair was also to bring in speakers and try to facilitate programming that would reduce or the need to drink, or at least encourage students to drink more responsibly. So I would say that's probably where it got started. Working with Dean Sandine the week before school got started, not through the Bar Association but on my own, I got together a group of students and we hosted a panel for the incoming 1Ls, an orientation panel kind of guiding them through the 1L year and how to see sources of stress and reduce them in healthy ways, or kind of head them off from the start. And then as social chair, I brought in a few speakers over the course of the year to try to encourage healthier consumption habits. And then in particular, during the beginning of the first semester the beginning of the second semester when first semester grades come out, I realized for me personally during my 1L year, that had been the most stressful time, and everyone was like, oh, well, let's all go get drinks together. And that was kind of a less formally planned but more acknowledged point in time in which people would go drink a lot. So, and it was obviously a coping mechanism for dealing with subpar grades, and subpar grades being like an A- or a B+, which is kind of silly, but that's how it happened. So I approached the VBA board about it, and we decided to start Stress-Free Week. And basically the concept was to put on a panel of former students, professors, professionals from the legal community, Dean Workman from the Career Service Office, basically cover the gamut, and also a representative from the Tennessee Lawyers Assistance Program, cover the gamut of people you might encounter in your legal profession from law school on into the actual profession itself, and put grades in perspective for students so that they might not flip out about them so much and feel the need to reduce the stressor with substance abuse. And then throughout the week we had home-baked goods on Main Street. We brought in masseuses, tried to just be like, this is a fun, happy place. There's no need to stress out. And then we also circulated a dry week petition, which students signed and pledged not to drink for the week, so that they could kind of, one, acknowledge the fact that there is a substance abuse problem in the legal community, and two, encourage introspection on the part of the signatory so that they could kind of check themselves and be like, oh, it's Wednesday night and I want to drink. I didn't realize that this is so common for me, but yeah, I guess maybe I should watch how much I drink on a regular basis. So after that, after organizing all of those events and then getting through the rest of the year, social activities that I'd obligated myself to organize, I sat back and realized that the concepts of Stress-Free Week could really be dispersed throughout the year, and that students could use these resources and panels about how to really cope with law school and stresses in the legal profession. They could use resources like that throughout the school year. So that's when a couple of my classmates and I got together and developed VSHWA. And so it's basically a stress-free week concept, but year-round. We did this time around, the panel was done through VSHWA as opposed to on my own. We called it Navigating the 1L Year. We also put together a booklet that had kind of statements from each of the officers on the VSHWA board about, this was a personal experience of mine that I encountered in law school and how I overcame it, or this is why working out is very important to me, and this is why maintaining my identity beyond being a law student is really important. And so we put those little 500 word or less blurbs in there, along with resources about local gyms, local counseling centers, TLAP, all that kind of stuff. So the 1Ls would have it immediately on hand, and then basically had a panel of 2Ls, because they had just been there as 1Ls, explain how they got through the 1L year in a stress-free manner. And then from there, we had a kickball tournament during orientation to remind students, look, we're physically fit people, and we, can go be active and find outlets to reduce stress. And we teamed up with the running club and did a couple of runs during the year. We did a substance abuse awareness week, where we kind of took the substance abuse component of stress-free week and separated it out into its own week during the fall semester. And then we continued with stress-free week in the spring semester. But more just focusing on the stress of grades and why people shouldn't be so stressed about them. And then we also, it was really important to us to kind of find discrete issues within the law school community that might translate into the legal community, and team up with other organizations that might have more, it might be more of their focus, but they might not focus on it in the stress manner. We teamed up with them to host lectures or events or whatever, so that there was a more targeted audience. So for instance, we did a diversity appreciation Blackacre, because for minorities, approaching the legal community, which is a rather homogenous community, can be rather stressful for them. So we had a diversity appreciation Blackacre, where all of the minority student organizations, including the LGBT organization Outlaw, which is a clever name, and WILSA and BALSA and APALSA and SALSA and all the fun acronyms came out, and we each set up a table, and they had foods representing their group, and it was a really fun, very, very successful Blackacre. I guess I should say Blackacres are, every Friday we host, one of the organizations or offices in the law school hosts Blackacre, which is where we have a couple of kegs and a bunch of food, and it kind of winds down the week for all the students so that we can have a nice little social time. So we did that. Next year we're hoping to expand that into a full week's worth of events with speakers that come in and speak on diversity issues in the legal community, which there are a plethora of. Another one we did, we had Love in the Legal Profession, a balancing act that we teamed up with Law Partners, which is the student organization that kind of focuses on the issues for married persons in law school and then going on into the profession. And so a number of their students came out, and just other students that are in relationships, and we had a couple of relationship counselors that kind of guided a talk, and everyone just got out their relationship issues and how to better communicate with their partners and kind of convey the professional stressors that we have that end up manifesting in our relationships, and how to curb those and deal with them in a healthier way. That's kind of a good representation of the types of program that we've tried to do.